You have had a long, exhausting day. You finally retreat to the one room in your entire house where you expect absolute, uninterrupted privacy. You step inside the bathroom, close the door, and let out a sigh of relief. Silence. But then, almost inevitably, sniff, sniff, sniff. A cold, wet nose suddenly appears under the bottom crack of the door. The heavy breathing starts. The frantic pacing begins. A quiet, pathetic whine echoes from the hallway, and if the door is not latched perfectly, it suddenly swings wide open. There stands your dog, looking deeply concerned, proudly trotting in to take a seat directly on your bath mat. For millions of dog owners around the world, this is a daily, inescapable reality. You cannot take a shower, brush your teeth, or simply use the toilet without your canine companion acting as your heavily invested personal bodyguard. It is incredibly relatable. It is sometimes slightly annoying, and it is almost always deeply endearing. But if you have ever retreated to the bathroom and silently asked yourself, "Why does my dog follow me in here every single time?" you are not alone. You are living with what behaviorists call a Velcro dog. Most people assume this behavior is just simple clinginess, or worse, they assume their dog has absolutely zero concept of personal boundaries. We label them as needy. We joke that they are just obsessed with us and lack basic independence. We treat their bathroom invasions as a cute, albeit inconvenient, failure to understand that humans require a few minutes of alone time to function. Most people assume dogs are simply invading our privacy because they want constant attention. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. Your dog is not trying to invade your privacy because dogs possess absolutely no neurological framework for the concept of privacy. To a canine mind, closed doors inside a home are unnatural, hostile barriers. They are artificial walls separating them from their absolute primary resource for survival, joy, and emotional regulation. That resource is you. Closing a door on a dog triggers an evolutionary alarm. If you have ever Googled why your dog refuses to leave you alone in the bathroom, prepare yourself. Because what is actually happening inside your dog's brain in that exact moment is a jaw-dropping masterclass in evolutionary biology, chemical dependency, and deep behavioral psychology. You are about to view your bathroom stalker in a completely different light. Let us decode the science of the true Velcro dog. To truly understand the dog sitting on your bathroom tiles, we must first look to human developmental psychology. Specifically, the groundbreaking work of psychologists John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, who developed attachment theory. Originally, this theory was created to explain how human infants bond with their parents. It meticulously mapped the intense, crushing distress a baby feels when their mother leaves the room. For decades, scientists believed this was a uniquely human emotional experience. But modern veterinary psychology has proven a staggering, indisputable fact. Dogs bond with their human owners in the exact same psychological manner that human infants bond with their parents. Researchers at Tufts University's Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine study this phenomenon intensely. Their data reveals a profound truth. To your dog, you are not a roommate. You are not a master, and you are certainly not just an automatic food dispenser. You are the literal center of their psychological universe. In the canine cognitive framework, you are what psychologists officially classify as a secure base. The secure base effect is a profound psychological phenomenon where an individual uses their primary attachment figure as a safe anchor from which to explore an unpredictable world. When you are physically present in the room, your dog feels invincible. They are brave. They are calm. They are emotionally stabilized. Your presence acts as a psychological shield. So, when you get up from the couch and move to the bathroom, that secure base is actively moving away from them. For a dog with a strong, healthy attachment, the natural, unavoidable response is to follow the base. They are not necessarily interested in the bathroom itself. They are simply maintaining physical proximity to their ultimate security blanket. Where the base goes, the dog must go. It is a deeply ingrained reflex. However, clinical experts emphasize that we must clearly differentiate between a healthy Velcro dog and a dangerous clinical pathology. The American Veterinary Medical Association, AVMA, outlines very clear, strict diagnostic guidelines regarding separation anxiety syndrome. This is where many owners get profoundly confused, mistaking severe psychological panic for deep, loyal affection. Knowing the difference between the two can literally save your dog from a lifetime of intense suffering. A true, healthy Velcro dog follows you into the bathroom because they simply want to be with you. It is a preference, not a panic. If you close the bathroom door and your dog lets out a heavy sigh, lies down on the floor outside, and waits quietly for you to finish, this is perfectly healthy. They can emotionally self-regulate even when denied direct physical access to their secure base. They are relaxed, just waiting. Clinical separation anxiety, on the other hand, is the canine equivalent of a massive, overwhelming panic attack. If you close the door and your dog frantically scratches at the wood, digs violently at the carpet, heavily pants, or paces wildly, that is not cute. That is not love. That is absolute terror that you are going to permanently disappear. If they lose control of their bowels outside the door, they are in crisis. This requires immediate medical intervention, not just a scratch behind the ears. But why do completely healthy, non-anxious dogs feel such a powerful compulsion to sit at your feet while you brush your teeth? Because this is not just about psychological attachment. It is about hard, biological chemistry. A landmark 2017 study published in the prestigious peer-reviewed journal Frontiers in Psychology revealed the secret, microscopic mechanism driving this behavior. It changes everything we know. The researchers discovered the oxytocin gaze positive loop. When a dog and their human make direct eye contact or engage in gentle physical touch, both species experience a massive, sudden spike in oxytocin in the brain. Oxytocin is widely known as the love hormone or the cuddle chemical. It is a powerful, naturally occurring neurochemical drug that directly dictates and reinforces mammalian bonding across different species. This chemical reaction is staggering. A surge of oxytocin violently lowers heart rates. It completely crushes levels of cortisol, the dangerous stress hormone that causes anxiety. It creates sweeping, undeniable feelings of deep contentment, peace, and euphoria. Because of this biological reality, your dog is literally chemically addicted to your physical presence. You are their biological drug of choice, and your bathroom breaks disrupt their steady dosage. When you leave the living room, walk into the bathroom, and close the door tightly behind you, their biological oxytocin drip is suddenly cut off. The chemical euphoria fades. By pushing the door open, walking in, and staring up at you directly from the bath mat, the oxytocin loop continues completely uninterrupted. They are actively self-medicating with your presence. Your bathroom trip is their excuse to get another hit of the love hormone. It is genius. Beyond the chemical addiction, there is the intense sensory explosion of the bathroom itself. A dog's sense of smell is estimated to be 10,000 to 100,000 times more sensitive than a human's. A massive, highly developed portion of their brain is dedicated solely to capturing and analyzing tiny odors. And to your dog, your specific, unique bodily scent is the most comforting, reassuring smell on the entire planet. It signifies safety and home. Think about the environment inside your bathroom. It is packed with your heavily used towels. Your dirty laundry hamper sits in the corner. Your toothbrush, your deodorants, your soaps, and yes, your bodily waste. All of these items carry your deeply concentrated, unique olfactory signature. To a dog, stepping into your bathroom is like walking into an immersive, highly stimulating scent symphony of their favorite person. It is an incredibly comforting place to sit. Let us travel back in time, roughly 30,000 years, to look at the ancient history of this weird habit. To truly comprehend the bathroom stalker, we must rigorously analyze the behavioral mechanics of wild gray wolves. While dogs have evolved significantly through thousands of years of domestication, certain hardwired survival instincts remain permanently, deeply embedded in their DNA. They cannot simply ignore biology. In the brutal, unforgiving reality of the wild, isolation directly equals death. Canines are obligatory social creatures. They hunt together, sleep together, and survive as a highly cohesive, unified team. When a single member of the pack wanders off alone out of sight, they instantly become incredibly vulnerable to larger predators. Splitting the pack is the fastest way to get killed. Proximity is survival. Furthermore, the physical act of eliminating waste puts any animal in a highly vulnerable physical state. They are momentarily distracted. They are postured awkwardly. They are completely unable to flee immediately if ambushed by a sudden threat. Because of this extreme, life-threatening danger, wild canine social structures developed a fascinating, highly effective biological defense mechanism. Pack members will frequently stand guard for one another during these vulnerable moments. They form a protective, outward-facing perimeter. So, when your dog confidently follows you into the bathroom while you use the toilet, they are acting on a primal, ancient instinct. You are the respected, loved leader of their pack. And you are currently in a highly vulnerable physical position. Their DNA is screaming at them to react. Their genetic wiring immediately alerts them. My human is exposed. I must watch their back. They sit facing the door, scanning the hallway for invisible threats. They are actively returning the profound favor of protection that you provide for them every single day. They are keeping the pack alive. The fact that the biggest threat in your house is a rogue vacuum cleaner does not matter to their ancient instincts. Add to this ancient biology the physical reality of the modern bathroom. The bathroom typically mimics a perfect canine den. It is a much smaller room. It is fully enclosed. It is often very warm, especially during or immediately after a hot shower. And as we clearly established, it smells intensely of the pack leader. To a canine brain, this room ticks every single box for ultimate physical security. Dens are sacred spaces. They are the highly protected zones where a pack retreats to rest, recover from brutal injuries, and raise vulnerable puppies safely. When you retreat to this small, warm, enclosed space, your dog naturally wants to join you inside the den. Being excluded from the den by a solid wood door triggers a mild state of evolutionary panic. Why is the pack dividing? Why are they locked out of the safe zone? We also have to factor in centuries of highly specific, selective human breeding. The American Kennel Club expressly notes that certain breeds are genetically hardwired to exhibit extreme Velcro behavior. Herding breeds like Border Collies, Corgis, and Australian Shepherds were bred to work in intense, synchronous tandem with a human shepherd. They were designed by humans to never let their handler out of their direct sightline. These herding dogs are genetically programmed to keep one eye firmly on their flock and one eye permanently locked on their handler, waiting for the next split-second whistle or command. Because they were engineered for such intense cooperative partnerships, they naturally feel completely compelled to monitor your every single move, including your mundane trips to the sink to wash your face. It is their literal job to watch you. Working and guarding breeds like Dobermans, Boxers, and Mastiffs take their jobs incredibly seriously. When a Doberman follows you to the shower, they are effectively performing a high-level security sweep of the perimeter. They are deliberately keeping their VIP target, which is you, in their direct line of sight to guarantee your absolute safety from any potential bathroom intruders. They are on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then there are the toy and companion breeds: Pugs, Chihuahuas, French Bulldogs, and the Hungarian Vizsla, famously nicknamed the ultimate Velcro dog. These breeds were engineered explicitly for human companionship. Their entire genetic purpose is to keep your lap warm, alert you to visitors, and provide unyielding emotional support. To these dogs, being separated from you by a door defeats their entire reason for existing on this earth. They must be touching you. But there is also a deeply paradoxical element to this behavior. Dogs possess the rough cognitive intelligence of a human toddler, usually around ages 2 to 2.5. And just like human toddlers, dogs are intensely curious and suffer from absolutely severe FOMO, fear of missing out. They simply cannot handle the idea that something fun is happening behind a closed door without them. When you go into a room and suddenly close the door, your dog's cognitive gears start turning frantically. What is happening in there? Are there treats being hidden? Is there a new secret game being played? Is the water running? I love the water. Their powerful curiosity compels them to investigate the mystery. Following you inside is the absolute fastest, easiest way to satisfy that burning canine curiosity. They just have to know what you are doing. We also must accept a hard, highly uncomfortable truth about pet psychology. We humans frequently, and totally accidentally, train our dogs to exhibit the exact behaviors we later complain about. Think back to the very first time your dog followed you into the bathroom as a puppy. You were sitting there, essentially a captive audience. You had nowhere to go. You had nothing else to do. You were the perfect target for affection. Your dog wandered in, looked up at you with those big, innocent eyes, and what did you do? You probably smiled broadly. You spoke to them in a high-pitched, happy baby voice. You reached out and gave them a few deep, satisfying scratches behind the ears. In that exact moment, a massive, powerful behavioral association was permanently forged in their brain. You rewarded the invasion. You told them that the bathroom was the best room in the house. The equation became incredibly simple for them. Bathroom equals captive human. Captive human equals uninterrupted attention and physical affection. Dogs are highly opportunistic learners. They rigorously repeat behaviors that are proven to be highly rewarding. If following you to the toilet resulted in affection even once or twice, they will continue to do it forever, because it is a highly profitable psychological endeavor. But this brings us to a critical, potentially life-saving pivot. We have firmly established that following you is a sign of deep love, biological chemistry, and evolutionary protection. But what happens when your Velcro dog suddenly stops following you into the bathroom? What if they stop waiting outside the door altogether? What if they no longer care when you leave the living room? This is a crucial moment. Most owners assume this is a highly positive development. They assume their dog has simply mellowed out with age, finally outgrown the annoying habit, or learned a new sense of independence. But veterinary medicine tells a completely different story. Sudden behavioral withdrawal is one of the most alarming symptoms a domestic dog can present. It is a terrifying red flag that something is fundamentally wrong. According to the internationally recognized Merck Veterinary Manual, sudden, uncharacteristic isolation requires immediate intervention. If a dog that normally shadows your every move suddenly begins isolating themselves in another room, hiding deeply under beds, or refusing to even get up when you leave the room, you must pay close, immediate attention. They are not becoming independent. They are attempting to hide a severe vulnerability. This sudden cessation of Velcro behavior is often the very first clinical sign of hidden, silent physical pain. It can strongly indicate the onset of severe osteoarthritis, undetected gastrointestinal distress, or even early-stage canine cognitive dysfunction, which is dog dementia. In the wild, a sick, vulnerable animal isolates to avoid predators. A sudden desire for isolation is a silent, desperate cry for medical help. Never ignore this change. At the end of the day, when we finally strip away the complex evolutionary biology, when we look past the intricate oxytocin loops, the olfactory mechanisms, and the accidental behavioral conditioning, we are left with the purest, most beautiful truth of pet ownership. Your dog follows you into the bathroom because they fiercely, deeply love you. In a world that is completely unnatural to their DNA, you are their absolute, unshakable anchor. In a modern world that can be loud, confusing, and overwhelming for a domestic animal, you are everything. You provide their food, their shelter, their exercise, and their emotional stability. You are the sun around which their entire short, beautiful life orbits. Without you, they have absolutely nothing. So why wouldn't they want to spend every single available second within a 2-foot radius of you? Their lifespan is heartbreakingly short compared to ours, 12 years if we are lucky, and they seem innately, profoundly aware that every single moment spent with their human is incredibly precious. Even the mundane, slightly weird, unglamorous moments spent watching you floss your teeth in your pajamas. To them, those moments are absolute perfection. Reframing the narrative completely changes how we experience this daily interruption. They are not trying to annoy you. They are not invading your non-existent privacy. They are expressing a deep, profound social connection forged over tens of thousands of years of survival. They are telling you, in the absolute only language they possess, you are my pack. You are my safe place. Where you go, I go. I will protect you. Always. So the next time you retreat to the bathroom for a rare moment of peace, and you see that little paw slide under the door, or feel that wet nose bump firmly against your leg, take a deep breath. Acknowledge the incredible psychological and evolutionary journey that brought this magnificent, loving creature directly into your home. Give them a scratch behind the ears, look them in the eye, and appreciate the unwavering, profound, unconditional loyalty of the true Velcro dog. The weight of evolution sits quietly on your bath mat every single day. Do you share your home with a Velcro dog? Tell me their exact breed and their weirdest clinging habit in the comments below. And hit subscribe right now, because next week we are decoding exactly why dogs sigh so heavily when they finally lie down. And the science behind it is even stranger than you'd expect. I will see you in the next video.